Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have a cozy, aesthetically pleasing, simple to the eyes green nail set. Now, when I say simple to the eyes, what I mean is it's not simple to do, but it's simple when you look at it. It's just cute. It's nothing over the top. And I don't know, I thought it was something so fitting for the weather and the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. And this is a Gel X set. So let's get right into it. I always start off with my Makartt Peel It Off base coat. That's why you see my nails nice and shiny from the get-go. I do 2 coats of that, so that way they're super easy to take off. Then I go in with my Unigella Gel X tips. Now, I've never learned how to properly pronounce that. I don't know if it's Gella or Gella, but I'm just going with my gut here. I get these tips off of Amazon. They're incredibly flexible near the cuticle, but sturdy near the tip. And I have worn these. Okay, so normally I wear them as a pop-off set, but I have worn these for like days on end on vacation and never ever had a problem with them chipping or breaking, popping off. They are incredibly durable. So I love these. I use them in every single set that I do. When I do my Gel X, I always use Beetles nail glue, but I am going to start using the Apres Extend Gel just to give that a try because I have it and I've just never really used it. And I know that's the popular brand, so I am going to start giving that a try. But like I said, I'm using Beetles nail glue with my Unigella tips, and this is how I do my Gel X application. I have been doing Gel X for like consistently about a year, and I've learned a couple tips and tricks along the way, which I will link a video to that in the top right corner if you guys want to check that out. Otherwise, this is my application. After my application, I went ahead and trimmed down my tips because this was going to be a short set. Now, I don't know about you guys, but just a side note, I love watching people trim their tips because I love to see the tips fly off. It's just so pleasing. But that pinky nail totally failed me if you caught that. But anyways, the next thing I do after I trim my tips down is I go in with my Purple 5-in-1 Carbide Bit by Melody Susie. It is the fastest way that I know of when it comes to like sealing in that cuticle and filing it as close to the nail plate as possible. Sometimes I go in with my gold carbide bit because it is a little bit safer and easier to use, but I was pressed for time. So I went in with my purple carbide bit because it gets the job done in no time. Make sure also that when you guys are doing your filing, that you are removing all of that dust flying around from the tip. That way you can clearly see what needs to be filed down even more and you're not accidentally cutting yourselves, because I have done that before when I was just starting out and it is so incredibly painful. So just take it from me, remove all of that dust so you can see what needs to be filed down and what looks good. After I use my carbide bit, I do go in with my mini sanding band, also by Melody Susie. If you guys have not given these a try yet, because they have been around for a while, but I jumped on the bandwagon super late. These are so amazing. And the reason they're so good is just because they're so small. The barrel is so tiny that you can clearly see what you're doing. It's so much easier to hold it parallel to the nail, which makes it safer and less likely to give you rings of fire. So I absolutely love them. I have not gone back to the original sanding band size because these are just so much better. Give these a try if you are looking for an alternative to the original size of the sanding band. But these just allow me to get a really close seal to my natural nail plate. The one thing that I forgot to show after I go in with my sanding band is I take some acetone on a brush and just go around that tip by my cuticle to like basically melt that tip into my natural nail plate so it looks seamless. But unfortunately, I did forget to do that because, like I said, I was in a rush. So here are the two colors that I'm going to be using for this design. You only need the 2 shades of green. Now this green by Beetles right here, I think is my absolute favorite. This is not the olive tone to the set. The olive tone is obviously the Valentino shade of green, but this green right here was so pigmented and gorgeous that I was tempted to just do this shade on every single nail because I loved it. I do use 2 coats, however, just to be safe for every single nail, including the Valentino's shade of green. After applying the 2 coats of green to each nail, I matte top coated them, and I always do that whenever I'm going to start my nail art. That way, if I have to get rid of something that I don't like, I don't ruin the gel polish itself. Now this may look like black, but it's really not black 100%. I mixed it with some clear gel polish. That way, whenever I outline the edges with black, it stands out. Like this is more of a gray shade. You just can't tell because I haven't applied the actual black lines to the edges yet. Once I finished the foundation of the plaid design with those clearish grayish lines, I went ahead in with the solid black gel polish. Now that I put the black gel polish against the original lines that I did, you can see how the original lines were really not black. It was just kind of hard to tell on the camera. So this is going to make those lines stand out a lot more. And then after that, I just keep adding some lines with some gel polish, and then I add my chrome at the very end. I also want to mention that I do not show the thumb and pinky finger just because it's the exact same design for those fingers. So I do leave those two out of this video. Before I go in and add my chrome to my middle finger, I do go to my index finger and my pinky and just do the white French on those nails instead of finishing the chrome, just because whenever I'm using a color, for in this case it's going to be white, I want to do all the white on all the nails as soon as possible and just get that out of the way first, and then I'll do everything that needs to be done in chrome next. That way I can just get rid of the white on my palette and just keep making more space for whatever colors I need, and it saves up a lot of time doing it that way. So I just went ahead and did my French on this nail and my pinky. After that, I do go back to my middle finger and my thumb to add my chrome. Now, one thing that I learned from the last two nail sets that I did, and this may be obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me, is that if you really don't want your chrome to stick, after you apply your matte top coat, wipe the nail with some Young Nail Swipe or some alcohol using a lint-free wipe, and that will remove whatever tackiness may have been left on the nail. That way, when you go to wipe away the excess powder from the chrome, you will get clean, crispy chrome lines. Like I said, that may have been obvious, but I've just may have just brushed over that part whenever I watch chrome tutorials, but definitely give that a try if you realize that your chrome lines are not looking as clean as you want them to be. Lastly, I moved on to my ring finger. Now, my ring finger is a bunch of layering, so it did take some time. Originally, what I start off doing is making a pentagon, and then I start connecting the lines of the pentagon in a circular motion to create a pumpkin. I know it sounds really, really weird when I'm saying it, but if you sort of follow along to see how I'm doing it, it'll make a little bit more sense. I'm also doing this with brown gel polish. Now this brown is going to be sort of the foundation or the background of the pumpkin shade. It does get brighter later on with some orange and some white, but here I am again just going ahead and making that pentagon shape, and then I follow the lines of the pentagon and start making circles. If you don't follow those original lines from the pentagon, then the pumpkin just starts to look a little bit weird. So that same shade of brown that I used to outline the pumpkin is the same shade that I used to actually fill it in. And I did do that in 2 coats after I outlined the pumpkin in black. Now this is important because I thought I could get away with making these white little strokes without the outline, and I failed dramatically. So make sure that you have a clear outline of your pumpkin whenever you go to add these white lines. Now these white lines are just for dimension, to give it a little something extra. I go over these white lines in an orangey shade, then I go over that orangey shade again in a little bit extra white lines. Like I said originally, this fingernail is all about layering and giving it dimension, and it took a little bit of patience, but we got there. once I finished adding the white lines back over the orange shade, I started to do the chrome design. Now, like I mentioned earlier, make sure after you apply your matte top coat, you are wiping that matte top coat clean with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol or Young Nail Swipe. Then you can go in with your black lines for your chrome design. Now, I recently started testing out how long I'm curing my gel polish when it comes to chrome, and I started curing them for just a little bit longer at 20 to 30 seconds. I originally started doing it at 15 seconds, but because my lines are so thin, I was able to cure them for a little bit longer with no problem of the chrome sticking. But if you feel like 15 seconds still works for you and that's like your magic mark, keep doing that. You don't have to do what I do. Absolutely do what works for you. After everything was said and done, I went ahead and applied some glossy top coat, and this was the final look. Now, I am loving how it looks for fall and for Thanksgiving, especially against the white top. It was so cute, so simple. It's definitely an eye catcher, but I loved it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.